Thanks, Brandis. A new report estimates an additional 111,000 voter registration applications have been processed at Illinois Secretary of State facilities annually, thanks to a 2018 automatic voter registration law. But advocates say Illinois can and should do better. Amanda Vinicky joins us now with more and a look at how things are going otherwise this election year. Amanda.
Yeah, Paris, we are about 4 months out from the June primary, and summer may feel a ways off. Way too far off, in my opinion, but things are going to get rolling pretty darn soon, especially if you are one of the candidates looking to get on that primary ballot. They can start to turn in the petitions that are required to officially be a candidate starting in about a week and a half. March 7th. And again, only once those petitions with voter signatures are in are they officially considered candidates. Then you're going to have early voting beginning already mid-May. Elections authorities are making preparations.
So right now, that is testing all of the voting equipment within our warehouse, getting all of our polling places ready and our contract signed ahead of the June 28th primary, as well as getting our communication plans ready.
Max Bever with the Chicago Board of Elections says sometime in April, Chicago voters should expect to get something in the mail. For many, that's going to have updated information about their representation in Springfield and Washington, because voters might well find themselves in new districts thanks to that once-in-a-decade redistricting process. Chicago voters will then also be able to apply to vote by mail in this upcoming election or permanently.
A vote by mail application. We know many people, still may have concerns about going to vote in person. They can take the vote by mail option for this upcoming election. But as recently passed state law, they can also join this permanent roster list where they can receive their ballot through the mail for all upcoming elections until they choose otherwise.
Jean Kazmierek is the DuPage County Clerk.
Well, from my vantage point, I feel so good about where we are now. And especially because for the first time in 20 years, DuPage now will have 100% paper ballots.
Now, Kazmierek ran for clerk after becoming active in the elections process back as a concerned resident. And she says that voting is always important and that it should not be taken for granted. That is a similar mindset to that of Keegan Hollier with Illinois PIRG.
Paper ballots are the gold standard. And when you have a paper ballot, you can return to it, look at it, and know that that ballot has been counted.
Sorry about that. I wanted to mention that the voting machines that Kazmierek says are going to be new for this year are going to be particularly, she says, able to safeguard against any sort of potential hacking because they are never going to even be connected to the internet. And they're also going to have capabilities for language, a lot of different changes for these voting machines. And then we do want to hear now from Keegan Hollier of Illinois PIRG, who authored that report on automatic voter registration.
We believe that democracy works best when everyone is involved in it.
Now, in order to be involved, in order to cast a ballot, you have to be registered. And Hollier's, again, author of that report that found that Illinois' automatic voter registration law did succeed, with registrations at Secretary of State facilities jumping 37% annually. With AVR, eligible voters are just that, automatically registered. Also, their latest address and information is updated. This is every time that somebody interacts with state agencies. Most often, that's going to be getting or renewing a driver's license. Now, this success comes even as Hollier says the process is still more complicated than it needs to be.
Getting registered to vote through the automatic voter registration system should be the path of least resistance. So that means, making the process as streamlined as possible.
He also says the Secretary of State's office could do better at things like training staff on voter registration.
Although the Secretary of State is far away the most important agency to be implementing AVR in Illinois, it is not the only agency. So I just want to take this opportunity to call on the other participating agencies to more fully and robustly implement AVR and incorporate it into the fold of their key services.
Now, while eligible voters are automatically registered to vote with an opt-out option, whenever they interact with most state agencies, there are some exceptions, and most notably, those who are applying to the state to carry or to own a gun. Now, conservatives say that that is a partisan exclusion, and that gun applicants should likewise automatically be registered to vote when they apply for those licenses. A measure before the General Assembly would do just that, but so far, it has stalled. Now, by the way, if you are very eager to get involved with the elections, there are a couple of ways to do so. Candidates are surely, especially because there's been a condensed timeline to get those signatures to get them on the ballot, will appreciate having anybody, registered voters, sign their petitions. That does not mean that you have to vote for the candidate. It just means that you will help to get them on the ballot. And then another opportunity, starting March 1st, Chicago is going to be accepting individuals for poll watching and to judge elections. So lots coming up. Paris, back to you.
All right, already close to election season. Seems like it was just yesterday. Thanks, Amanda.